Relaxation facility in Bonamusa di Douala yesterday. No injuries were recorded, no lives lost, and the cause of the fire has been attributed to electrical fault. Our reporter Eileen Sama was there at the time of the fire outbreak. She compiled the following.
A wildfire that broke out yesterday in one of the famous snack bar in Douala Ash Club has brought down the relaxation facility to ashes. The fire, which began at about 7 p.m. last night, lasted 3 hours to be extinguished by the elements of the firefighting brigade who rushed to the scene at Sable Bonamusadi. Immediately it erupted. Some hundreds of millions francs CFA is said to have been lost in the fire incident which destroyed the bar, cabaret, snack, club and restaurant on the building. Jack Hakim is a worker at Ash Club.
I came here around 4. I was up the restaurant. You know that I'm managing the hotel, so I and went to arrange those beds. After dressing the bed, I said, let me take some rest. I said, no. I went and saw my colleague from the restaurant. We sat together, we were discussing. Later we hear the smoke was smoke from the restaurant. So we didn't know where the smoke is coming from. We didn't know how the fire is before the catch. Later was the air fire. All of us tried to run to protect our life. So that's all. I thank God for my life because I was expecting to sleep. If I was sleeping there, the fire could have come me there. Thank God for my life.
The mayor of Douala 5 municipality, Richard Fongwang, was present at the fire scene to take stock of the incident and make sure that security is ensured.
Nothing was saved, and the gendarmes are here for security. As you can see, some boys came to the scene to steal from the leftovers, but actually nothing was recuperated.
It is worth noting that Douala 5 is among the most hit municipalities by fire incidents in the city in recent times, an unfortunate situation for all, creating the need for sensitization of electrical manipulation, as Anwafo Cletus Asongwe, Divisional Officer of Douala 5, pointed at the fire scene yesterday.
Douala 5 has of late been witnessing a series of fire incidents. Just last 2 weeks ago, we had fire in the Bonamusadi market. We had fire in Makepe, and today again we are having fire in one of the biggest snacks restaurant bars in this unit. And we say that it's an unfortunate situation that all of us deplore. It is an opportunity for us to sensitize the population especially on the manipulation of electricity. That electricity in such structures should be handled by qualified technicians.
The cause of the fire is not yet certain, but eyewitnesses attributed it to short circuit. The firefighters battled with the flames but couldn't succeed to save the facility. No one got injured, but the material damage of the fire is huge.
After ex-fighters took to the streets, ex-fighters at the DDR Center in Boya took to the streets to demand for better treatments. The authorities at the Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Center, Bamenda, say over 194 ex-fighters are at the center doing well as they carry on with vocational training and other activities that will fully reintegrate them into the society. Sistus Gapsa, Northwest Coordinator, told men and women of the press during a press briefing which took place in Bamenda recently, offering open arms to all those still in the bushes to drop down their arms. Charles Kebwa reports from the Northwest region of the country.
Contrary to the unfounded and blackmailing news that the DDR Center Bamenda is in jeopardy, stemmed from the strike action orchestrated by ex-fighters in the DDR Center Southwest, the Bamenda Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration DDR authority of the center say over 194 ex-fighters are at the center, all of whom are reported faring well as they carry on with vocational training and other activities that will fully incorporate them in the society.
We have the basic education, we have tailoring unit, hairdressing, the production of cosmetics, then sport and physical education, we have citizenship, we also have civic education, entrepreneur, classes.
In a press briefing with media February 2nd, 2021, the Northwest coordinator 6 GAPSA told the media, grappling with challenges, the inmates are doing fine and construction works advancing at the new DDR site that will be equipped to contain 6 workshops, refectories, kitchen, dormitories, infirmary, chapel, and residence area.
As we speak, the government is making arrangements to equip the center. The center is already being equipped. You know, it has dormitories, it has refectories, it has a church, it has an infirmary. All those structures have to have befitting equipment.
As they look forward going to the new site at the Bamenda Airport area for a befitting DDR multipurpose vocational training center.
Since the 1st of January this year, we have received over 20 ex-fighters who are here from various areas around the Northwest region. We are even tracking some other ex-fighters who have contacted us and who will be coming to the center in the days ahead in their numbers.
So I don't come here now, they go 2 weeks now, and I never see anything bad what they do for me, and they treat me fine. They with my 2 wives with 4 children here, so they live fine. So I don't know what they happen again. So what I see by government, I say, may they try to hold more than what they see. If they hold more than what they see, if my brother they call from Bush, I say, General, how this idea? I will tell them, say, no, true, our pardon, forgive us, more come out, and nothing there, I will go live better life.
The DDR centers, created by the President of the Republic some 2 years ago under the supervision of His Excellency Fayengo Francis and Deputy Professor Colonel Ekoso, the DDR Center in the Northwest region has harbored over 250 ex-fighters with 32 fully gainfully employed in state cooperation, 16 in the field of driving of the 194 left, of whom 27 are women and 32 children residents.
A scooping document on the cultural rights of indigenous people and local communities of the Northwest has been presented to civil organizations. It will work as a reference call for all civil society organizations interested in cultural rights and heritage. Charles Kibwa with details.
Advocacy Conference of the Civil Society, Indigenous People and Local Communities in the Northwest region of Cameroon, bringing together civil organizations and strengthening their capacities in carrying out advocacy, held at the EPIC Center Bamenda, January 2021, with mission of the CS Observatory to contribute in protecting cultural rights and promoting diversity, improve their understanding of the state of cultural rights of the indigenous people, the Mbororos and local communities. From the project of Mboskuda and Nowefo, the chairlady, Yalosha Wendy, addressing participants, presented a scoping document on the cultural rights of indigenous people and local communities of the Northwest, whose document is going to work as a reference call of the observatory for all the CSOs that are interested in cultural rights and cultural heritage. With the inclusion of women, farmers, you'd see how to carry it to the field.
The scoping document is going to work like a reference. It's like a reference for all the CSOs who are interested in cultural rights and cultural heritage. Because we will go to it and put it in our archives, and we take one aspect and we can expatiate on the aspect. There are many aspects of the culture that we have already discussed. The inclusion of women, the inclusion of farmers, why conflicts here and there, and so on and so forth. So it is really the basic document, and it is the core of our observatory.
Born out of the project Bridging the Gap, whose project has come to its end, the observatory is taken up to be able to continue implementing all the resolutions and see the Northwest region be in one fold, with peace as well as with cultural activities.
Farmers and grazers on one platform to be able to settle their issues together so that the issue doesn't go right to the level of maybe public administration.
Northwest Regional Delegate of Arts and Culture, Konfo Wanje, called on the people of the region to respect and protect cultural rights and diversity, which she said to start from individuals, roots, given all cultures are important and must be valued.
I think we have a lot to do. We have to make sure that we put up the resources together and then give a push to these civil society organizations so that they can be our eyes and our wings right deep into the hinterlands, so that the various ethnic groups and the various cultural groups right there far out there will not miss off the track.
Participants appreciated the drivers to former grazier conflict in the region and find ways to mitigate the effect on economic well-being and social cohesion in the region.
Over 1,579 persons were killed between January 2020 or January 15, 2020 and January 15, 2021 in different violent attacks on Cameroonian soil. The revelation was made today by Stand Up for Cameroon in its 2020 annual report on the situation of human rights in Cameroon. Lasha Kingsley attended this press conference and compiled the following.
Stand Up for Cameroon, a dynamic of political parties, civil society organizations, and Cameroonian citizens which aims at uniting actors around a political transition in Cameroon, has published its reports on the situation of human rights in Cameroon between January 15, 2020 and January 15, 2021. The report states that over 1,579 persons lost their lives in 1,038 violent events on the Cameroonian soil. The report classifies the violent event into the following topologies, notably 370 battles, 68 riots, 44 remote-controlled explosions, and 556 violences against civilians.
The objective of the report is that we bring out concrete information we publish to the government, and we put pressure to the government to react with respect to what we have brought out and the recommendations we've put in place. If you look at the statistics, you'll see that if you look at the reports at the end, you see sources that we've collected information from. Everything you need to get there, and you click, you get the source and every information about the statistics we published.
The war against Boko Haram, the conflict in the northwest and southwest regions, the impact of the conflict in the Central African Republic on Cameroon, violence against lawyers and journalists are some of the conducive areas where massive human rights violations were observed. The report also provides an overview of priority areas of actions to improve the situation of human rights in Cameroon. Some of the recommendations include ensuring strict respect of the rights of defendants during arrest and detention, end violence against civilians through collective punitive operations by the defense and security forces, uphold rights to fair trials, and urges international organizations and partner countries of the state of Cameroon to contribute to the adoption of severe and strong sanctions against those responsible at the level of the government and the non-state armed groups.
The recommendations are clear. Frank gave some recommendations. That the first thing is to end the violence and to educate the military, because actually the militaries, they are out there doing a serious, I don't know how to describe it, but they are off the track from what they have been assigned to do. And so they should educate the military on how to carry out their activities.
You're watching for 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime. It is Bilingualism Week, a week dedicated to the promotion and regulation of bilingualism in Cameroon. Some academic institutions here in Douala, the economic capital, are in full spirit ahead of the celebration of Bilingualism Day on Friday. Our reporter Audrey Zatza visited a school and captured the moment.
C'est la semaine nationale du bilinguisme, l'occasion pour la jeunesse de tous bords de faire valoir son aptitude à communiquer en nos langues nationales, notamment le français et l'anglais. Pour être en harmonie avec le rêve d'émergence du Cameroun, à travers sa vision 2035 et le thème de cette année, à savoir comment le bilinguisme peut participer à la cohésion nationale et à la tolérance. Pour cette édition, Monsieur Alexandre Némi, le chargé d'études du collège bilingual, nous parle de cette préparation dans son établissement.
Parlant de cohésion sociale et tolérance, we organized a competition, an exam. During that exam, Anglophone subsection Sudan wrote in French, and Francophone subsection wrote their essay in English. And during that competition, we sent the scripts to the delegation in order to mark, and we are waiting.
Banda Jeff est élève et témoigne de son bilinguisme.
Je suis francophone en fait, mais j'ai grandi dans une famille qui parle l'anglais. Je parle plus anglais que le français. Je suis bilingue, mais m'exprime plus en anglais. Now I'm in upper science and from C1, and my future is to be a computer engineer.
Si pour beaucoup, le Cameroun est bilingue, pour ce mécanicien, les Camerounais ne sont pas tous bilingues.
Déjà, moi, je parle pas anglais parce que j'ai pas fait la session anglophone. Mais je cause quand même pidgin.
On rappelle, cette célébration a été instituée en 2002 pour favoriser la pratique du bilinguisme sur toute l'étendue du territoire national. À cet effet, de nombreux établissements bilingues ont été créés.
Audrey Zatsa ending the report. Over 400 farmers who participated in the 7th edition of Mayview Cultural Development Assembly have benefited from farm inputs donated by the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development and other sponsors. The handing over ceremony of these farm inputs coincided with a one-day capacity building workshop that ushered in the 2020 edition of Kuda. Kumo Norembom tells us more.
Some farmers who took part in the 7th edition of the Mayview Cultural Development Assembly have been officially handed over farming equipment donated by sponsors of the event. The handing over ceremony equally witnessed the award of certificates of participations to participants who took part in a one-day capacity building workshop facilitated by Minader, Mindevel, Mindicaf, Minisec, and the National Employment Fund. Going by the vision bearer, Chief Henry Diko Fonderson, the event is aimed at ensuring that the farm inputs and certificates of participation encourages the farmers and participants who took part during the 7th edition of MEFCUDA. He equally used the occasion to remind the population that MEFCUDA is a platform put in place by Mayview Chiefdom to assemble farmers and stakeholders to help government agencies and parastatal corporations to display their opportunities and reach out to the grassroots and potential beneficiaries within the framework of their outreach programs and corporate social responsibilities.
What we are doing today is to assure our donors that the end users have finally got the equipment we present. But it is also very important to note that the capacity building workshops which were organized on Friday the 17th of December 2020, the participants gained some knowledge which is substantial enough to merit a certificate of participation.
On his part, the representative of the divisional officer for Limbe 1 subdivision, Mr. Mbi Tabe, urged the farming groups to use the equipments for the purpose intended. He equally challenged other traditional rulers to emulate the example of Mayview Cultural Development Assembly to promote cultural heritage and agriculture. On her part, the mayor of Limbe 1 municipality, Madame Eposimboye Florence, lauded the initiative of MEFCUDA and its donors for promoting agriculture within Limbe 1 subdivision and the southwest region at large. She urged participants of the workshop to make good use of the knowledge acquired during the capacity building workshop, as well as the farm inputs donated by Minader, Sodekao, and Soeda, as it will go a long way to alleviate poverty and improve on their livelihoods. It is worth noting that through the special support program instituted by the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in 2017, farmers under the umbrella of MEFCUDA have benefited farm inputs from Minader to boost their production and improve on their livelihoods. MEFCUDA's vision has recently been bought by new partners such as Sodekao, Soeda, just to mention.
Elected executives of Sase Old Boys Association, Sase or Soba, held their first council meeting recently in Boya. The executives laid out the blueprint of the new administration that will run for the next 3 years. The president appointed some patrons who will assist in raising funds for the construction of roads in the college. Nora Kakebi with details in the following report.
The November 7, 2020 elected Sase Old Boys Association, Soba, Executive led by the business mogul and President General, Mr. Ayok Iyok Sami Pride, held its first council meeting in Boya recently. It should be noted that the meeting held 2 days to the 82nd birthday of the college, as SASE was founded on February 1st, 1939 by the London-based Mill Hill missionaries. The council meeting, which is the highest decision-making body next to the General Assembly, laid out the blueprints of the Ayok Iyok's administration for the next 3 years. The resolutions include bringing the Soba Association closer by making constant visits to the chapters. In addition, creating a network of class presidents, encouraging them to join the various chapters closest to them is paramount, as well as creating a state-of-the-art website to harness the affairs of Soba worldwide. The President General, Ayok Iyok, also appointed the Projects Committee, headed by Professor Ken George Elambo of the Yaoundé chapter and the indefatigable retired Customs Commander, Njotsa Augustine of the Douala chapter. Mr. Ayok Iyok equally appointed patrons of his mandate, who include His Royal Highness Mfon Ekoko IV Muketwe of the 1977 class and Senior Accountant and Auditor Lawrence Abuno of the 1978 class. These gentlemen will assist the Ayok Iyok Executive raise funds for the 65 million CFA francs road project from the main entrance into the college to the Reverend Father's residence. Laying bare his plan of action, the President had this to say.
Meeting today, we discuss a lot of things. One of the major is what have been bringing us division in Soba, trying to clear the aspects of the Constitution, which I appointed a committee to do that. I've created a projects committee. I'll be in charge of the main project, which we said we'll do in Sase. That is doing the road from the main gate to the school. So, in a nutshell, that's what we're doing here. I've created a projects committee to raise funds and execute the road project. I've created committees to look at the Constitution. I've appointed the Deputy Secretary General to look at the registration of Soba. So, I've sent people out, and I said that minimum delay 1 or 2 months to get results for us to work on.
He concluded by extending words of appreciation to Soba America for a 3.5 million CFA franc donation to assist students who incurred losses during the recent fire incident in Sase College. And to the 1981 class, he applauded them for their gifts of 70 bed sheets and pillowcases to the affected students. The council meeting ended with a common meal, which is a tradition for all Sobans.
In sports, a new provincial executive committee at the head of Fcfa was elected yesterday, Tuesday, during an extraordinary session by video conferencing, during which Seydou Mbombo Joya was finally relieved of his duties as president of Fcfa.
Fcfa a été mis sur pied hier par les stratèges de la fédération, réunis en section ordinaire par visioconférence pour examiner les retombées de la sentence arbitrale du TAS du 15 janvier dernier, laquelle sanction avait déçu M. Seydou Mbombo Joya à la tête de la Fédération camerounaise de football, après avoir annulé le processus l'y ayant conduit à son élection le 12 novembre 2018 pour un mandat de 4 ans, face à l'ancien gardien du but des Lions indomptables, Joseph Antoine Bell et Daniel Nyamsi. La TAS a jugé recevable l'appel du club l'AS Olympique de Minganga qui avait saisi l'instance juridictionnelle basée à Lausanne en Suisse pour dénoncer la corruption lors d'une assemblée générale destinée à valider les tests de la Fcfa 2 mois avant l'élection. Le comité exécutif de la fédération a donc décidé de retirer toute compétence à Seydou Mbombo Joya et aux membres de sa présidence. Un comité exécutif provisoire a été ainsi élu à sa tête. Le sénateur Albert Bida. Le poste de vice-présidence est occupé par Prince Ndoki Mukutu. Y sont membres le docteur François Dikoumi, le docteur Oumarou, Lucien Mutomo et M. Boudikou. Ce comité exécutif provisoire a pour mission de bien gérer les affaires courantes de la Fédération camerounaise de football, de réviser les statuts et le code électoral et puis d'organiser un processus électoral juste.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's edition of the 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for being a part of today's edition of the program, or the news, coordinated by Faith Tata Bernier, produced by Desmond Akeba. My name is Gienda Peojin Blanche King. Until we meet again tomorrow, stay tuned to My Media Prime at 7 p.m. Kumluna will be live with Prime at 8 p.m. Cameroon time. The Lions will play against Morocco. Stay tuned to My Media Prime for updates of this. Happy viewing and good night.